Revelation 2509. From the 13th of October 1942. Activity in the hereafter and possibility of ascension. Souls whose degree of maturity is still very low lack all strength in the beyond. Therefore they experience nameless torments. They are aware of the strength they had at their disposal on earth. Thus their lot is worsened and they realize that they are incapable of improving their situation. The state of suffering cannot be described to people, it is a state of extreme poverty and most agonizing discomfort. And in this adversity they are joined by souls who attempt to rouse them from their lethargy and first make them aware of the agony of their condition in order to awaken in them the will to do something to improve their situation. The nature of this activity is incomprehensible to people. It is a serving occupation which, however, has no earthly basis but is adapted to the spiritual kingdom and therefore cannot be explained to the human being. Nevertheless, it is an activity which requires the soul's will. It is an activity which it can carry out when the will to help is stimulated in it. Only the will to help brings about an improvement in the soul's situation and thus also progress in its spiritual development. However, it is extremely difficult to stimulate such powerless, lowly souls, to move them to make themselves useful in order to help other souls. Mostly these souls are so steeped in their own suffering that they have no compassion for the suffering of other souls. They pass them by carelessly, indeed they often inflict suffering on themselves, and their nature is unloving towards each other. But the greater the torment the soul then feels, and it increases to the point of intolerability in order to make the soul compliant when the beings of light approach it in their disguise. The resistance is often great, but on the other hand the souls feel the participation in their adversity as a blessing. Even if they are initially negative, then they don't want to miss the participation and desire it, and this is already a small progress which the beings of light eagerly use. And this work on the immature souls requires much love and patience on the part of the beings of light. But the success is also so gratifying that they constantly endeavor to bring redemption to these poor souls. As soon as the soul has become more yielding, the work of the beings of light can begin. They now present to it that it worsens its lot through unkindness but can improve it through love. They try to stimulate her into helping activity by reproaching her with the suffering of other souls and now work towards the soul assisting them. Admittedly, they leave the soul's will free so that it should carry out the helping activity of its own accord. And if the soul does this, then the ascent also begins for the suffering souls, for the other souls also benefit through this because they themselves do to their fellow suffering souls what is done to them. The redeeming activity in the beyond is an uninterrupted activity of love of inconceivable significance, so that the souls which failed on earth can nevertheless still develop in the beyond and enjoy the happiness and bliss of heaven. Amen.